ओमज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्णा चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकम्। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थसुविज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदायादिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। स्वस्ति अस्तु विश्वस्य खलः प्रसीदतां ध्यायन्तु भूतानि शिवं मिथो धिया। मनश्च भद्रं भजतादधोक्षजे आवेश्यतां नो मतिरप्यहेतुकीम्। We are reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 10, chapter 33, verse number 34. So this is continuation of Sri Shukadeva Goswami's reply to King Parikshit's question. His question was, how is that Bhagavan, who is the propagator of dharma, protector of dharma, speaker on dharma, when he acted adharmically? That was one question. And second was that he is apt kama. He is fulfilled in himself, he is complete in himself. So why did he act in this way? What was the need for that? So we read Sri Sukadev's reply, the 3 slokas, where he said that sometimes in powerful people it is seen that they act like that. Even in this material world you see that those people who are in power, they may not care for the law. Law is actually primarily to protect the weak, because they need help, they need protection. Those who are powerful, they don't need law. So people in power tend to act against law because they know that they are protected by their position, their power, their wealth, their contacts. So Ishvara, he says something similar, that dharmvati karmo drishta Ishvaranam cha sahasam, because Ishvara means who is powerful. One who is weak, he cannot do that. If he acts against law, he will be punished. And he actually needs the help of law so that he can survive. Otherwise, big fish eats the small fish. Jiva jivasya jivanam, ahasta sahastanam, apadas chaturpadam, falgu tatra mehatam, jiva jivasya jivanam. This is the principle of this material world. That falgu tatra mehatam. Mehatam means the big. They eat the falgu. Falgu means worthless, that do not have much value. So here he gives that kind of argument, although it is not very satisfactory. Why should he still do it when he has no need? That's why he says, Apt kamo yadupati kritvan ve jugupshitam. So therefore Sri Sukadeva Goswami will speak. So in this sloka he speaks from Kamutya Nyaya. Yat pada pankaja parag nishev tripta yoga prabhav vidhata khil karma bandha swaram charanti muniyopi nanayamanas tasye chayatta vapusha kuta eva bandha. He says those devotees who are satisfied by doing service to the lotus feet of Bhagavan, by the power of their devotion, they become free from all bondage, karma bandha, vidhuta khila karma bandha. And therefore even they act freely. The sages who are like that, they are not bound by their actions. So then what to speak of Bhagavan? If the people who have taken shelter of Bhagavan can act like this, then what to speak of Bhagavan himself, who manifests his form by his own will? So that's what he says. Of course the question still remains, then why he has to act like that? Okay, he doesn't get bound by it, but what is the need to act? So the thing is that he is not breaking any principles, as he will speak, that there's nothing outside him, everything exists in him. That is the meaning of Ishvara here. So it is not even possible for him. It's like when Yashoda asked him that, have you eaten clay? And he said no. So that was a blatant lie, right? But then he proved it that no, it's not a lie. How can I? So even if he wants to tell lies, it is not a lie in his case. Because he says everything is inside me. He says you can see. He says sarve mithya visansana. He says they're all telling lies. They are liars, not me. And he proved it. And Yashoda was satisfied. Right? If the judge is satisfied with your argument, then you're right. You are free. So Bhagavan is a different person. He is not, you cannot understand him by our limited mind, our limited calculations, although we try to bring him under the purview of our mental concept. But he is beyond that. So that's why he used the word Ishvara. That we should try to understand his actions and learn from it, and not analyze his actions and say, oh, he's right or wrong. Analysis should be to take education from that and not to find fault in him, because he's flawless. He has no flaws in him. He's free from all heya guna, all lower qualities. They do not exist in him. Guna dosha, drishi dosha, gunastu ubhaya varjita. Krishna says in 11th Canto that this whole idea of this is virtue, this is vice, this whole thing is vice. The real virtue is to go beyond that. Gunastu ubhaya varjita, and then he is ubhaya varjita, he is beyond all this. So therefore, we should only try to study and analyze his actions to understand that what is for us in it, not to see a flaw in it. Because our nature is to find fault in others. That is our expertise. Everybody's expertise is seeing flaws. So that is not possible in case of Bhagavan. He is flawless. So therefore he says, Tad bhaktapi dharma dharmabhyam na badhyante ityaha. He says even his devotees are not bound by the laws of dharma and adharma. So therefore, Atma Ramasya Munyo Nirgrantha Apirikrame. So they are Nirgrantha, means they are beyond Grantha. They are not within the jurisdiction of the Vidhi and Nisheda, rules and regulations of the Grantha. They do not exist in that. So Yaditi, that this sloka describes that. Nishevo Nitram Sevanam. So those who are doing service, Nitram Seva, then even they are free from that, those who are doing service. Because those who are doing service to Krishna, why they are becoming free from these rules and regulations? Because they are also not interested in anything material. Their goal is not to gain anything material here. The purpose of rules and regulation is so that you do not cause disturbance to your life or to the society. And they have no such interest. They are nirmatsara. So therefore they are also free from that. Yoga, bhakti yoga. The word yoga in this sloka, yoga prabhava, means bhakti yoga. Prabhavena vidhuto akhilanam swadrashtinam api karma bandha kimutsvasya yaiste muniyo manansila bhakta. So therefore they become free from all the bondage of karma, karma bandha, vidhuto akhila karma bandha. So swadrashtinam, those who have seen him, then what to speak of he himself. Kimutsvasya yaiste munayo manansila bhakta apina nahiyamana. So these munis, muni means mananat muni, those who are thoughtful. So these thoughtful devotees, they are not bound, bandhana aprapnavanta. Tasya tu nirankushaya swechaya eva attani svikritani vapunshi parastri shvaranani tena yasya. So he himself has accepted the bodies by his will or manifested. Svechayaiva attani swikritani vapunsi. So he is taking this in a different way. Means Svecha Atta Vapusha means that he has accepted the bodies of the women by his own will. One meaning is that he manifests his form here by his will. He takes it different way. So Svechaya Eva Attani Svikritani Vapunsi Par Stri Sharirani. That the bodies of these women who are called Pardara here, Pardara Vimarsna. So this is by his own will, as his pastime. Gopinam tatpatinam cha sarvesham dehinam yoantascharti swadhyakshah kridanena hya bhak. So now the question can be raised, okay, this is true for him, he is Ishvara, he is God, he is master, so he is free from all dharma and adharma, he is beyond that. But that means at least now gopis are engaged in immoral act because they associated with him. So then what happens to them? Even if he is alright, he is not doing anything against dharma, what about the gopis? They were married, so then they can be blamed that why did they associate with somebody other than their husband. So now he speaks this verse that gopis are also not associating with someone who is other than the husband. So gopinam tatpatinam cha sarvesham eva dehinam yoantascharti swadhyakshah krirdane neh bhak. So he says that whether it is gopis or the husbands of gopis and all other living beings, he is the antaryami of all of them. He is the immanent being. He is inside everyone. So he is the Aham Atma Gudakesa. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, I am the Atma of everyone. So therefore he is the Sakshi, he is the overseer of everyone. And Kridane, he is the Adhyaksha. So therefore he is manifesting his Deha for the purpose of play here. It's nothing, he's inside, he's outside, what difference does it make? There is nothing which is outside him. I am sarvasya prabhu matta sarvam pravartate. I am the source of everything, everything emanates from me. So what is swa and para for him? This is mine and this is someone else's. This happens to people who are limited beings. But one who is vibhu, who is all pervading, what is para for him? What is something which is not he? There's nothing which is not in him. He showed this to Arjuna. Showed everything in his own body. And he said that you can see whatever you want to see here. So this is just same thing when cowherd boys complain that he is eating clay. So he says, no, I'm not eating, because eating means taking something from outside and putting into your mouth. That's what eating is called. But if something is already in my mouth, then where is the question of eating? It is already there. Like you have teeth, you have your tongue, you have saliva in your mouth. So it's already there. You cannot even avoid it. Say, don't do that. How will you avoid? So he says, everything is in me, everybody is inside me. Not only gopis, but the so-called husbands of the gopis. They are also in me and I am inside them. Antascharati so adhyaksha. I am the adhyaksha. Adhyaksha means who is seeing everybody. Aksha means eyes seeing. Supervisor, what you call, overseer. And kridane na iha deha bhag. So there are different readings. Kridane na iha deha bhag. That it's only for play that he takes this body. So tad दृष्ट्यात् तु सर्वंतर्यामिनो भगवतो न कोपि परैत्याह. So by this vision that he is antaryami of everyone, so in that case there is nobody who is different from him or other from him. And especially the devotees, they don't have prithak bhav from him. They don't think that they are separate from him. That's what gopis themselves are saying, that you are our Atma, our life is in you. So then how they are some other? And Krishna himself says that I am in the heart of my devotees and devotees are in me. I cannot live without them and they don't live without me. यो अंतश्चरति तस्य बहिरालिंगने को दोषा इति भाव. So the meaning is that one who is inside, if he embraces outside, what is the flaw in that? What is the flaw in it? अध्यक्षो बुद्ध्यादि द्रष्टा तस्य रहस्य बहिर्गात्र दर्शने को दोष इति भाव. So he is adhyaksha, means he is the witness of our mind, our thoughts, everything. So therefore if he sees outside, then what is wrong with it? Gatra darshane ko dosha. He is already seeing you from inside. He knows you better than you. He knows your thoughts. Sometimes thoughts come in our mind, we don't pay attention to them. Right? Now modern psychology says that some 60,000 thoughts come every day in our mind. How many do we observe? 60? 1,000? So he is adhyaksha, he is the observer. Dausaparnau sajasakaya samanam vriksham parishasva jate. Tairoekam piplam swaduvatti anyam anasnanabhi anya anasnanabhi chakashiti. The other one doesn't eat, he is only watching. Two birds sitting on this tree, the body. So if he is watching from inside, if he watches from outside, why it becomes adharma? Ye have Rajmandale Kridinena Hetuna Dehan Gopi Sharinani Bhajte Ratishrama Praveshad Ambuja Ambu Marjanadina Sevate. So he is all taking out a different meaning because Jiva Goswami has written such a lengthy commentary on it that he doesn't feel like writing anything. He writes one or two lines. He says, what can I write? He didn't leave anything for me. So still he is making some comment. So he says, Kridinena iha deha bhag. So iha means here in Brajmandal, he says. So he says that for playing, he does seva to the gopis. So it was described that when he was dancing and the gopis were tired and they were sweating, so he was wiping their sweat. So this is the meaning of deha bhak. Kridane maiha deha bhak. So deham bhasti to deha bhak. One who does service to the deha, the body, is called deha bhak. Bhas dhatu is very interesting. In Sanskrit there are some dhatus, they are called kalptaru dhatus. They are called wish fulfilling roots. Means you can give any meaning to them. It works. So bhaj dhatu is like that. So you can say deha bhak means that he accepts a body or he manifests a body, he does service to body. So it takes more popular meaning, bhaj dhatu sevayam. So he says he does seva to the bodies. To whom? Whose body? Gopis' bodies. Because earlier he said in the previous sloka, he gave that meaning, so he follows in the same way. So, Atta Vapusha, there the meaning of the word Vapu was applied to the gopis' body, so here also he applies to the gopis' bodies. So that's the new thing he says. So still, why does he do all these things? What is the purpose? So he says that he did this to give his grace. Anugrahaya bhaktanam manusham deham ashritaha bhajate tadrishihi kridaya srutva tatparo bhavet. So anugrahaya bhaktanam manusham deham ashrita. Why he has appeared here in human form? To give grace to his devotees. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha duskritam. In Gita he says, so sadhu means devotees. So he comes only for the sake of devotees. In Paramatma Sandarbha Jiva Goswami, he said that even this whole creation he does for the sake of devotees. He did a lengthy analysis to show that he acts only for the sake of devotees, otherwise he remains neutral. Samoham sarvabhuteshu na me dveshasti na priya. Says otherwise I am just neutral. Nobody is dear to me, nobody is inimical to me. I don't see anyone as my enemy. But if someone is my devotee, then I am inclined towards that person. So ye bhajanti to mam bhakta te mai. So that's why he says anugrahaya bhaktanam manusham deham ashrita. So he manifests his body to give his grace to devotees. So those devotees who were present at that time, they got his grace directly, like the gopis, cowherd people, Pandavas, Yadus. And those who will come later on, for them, they can read this. So Vikriditam Vrajvadhu Idam Cha Vishnu. So Tab Kathamritam Tapta Jivanam Kavi Bhiriditam. So therefore his katha is purifying when he is not physically present. Then he gives his blessing through his Leela pastime by reading that, by reciting that, by meditating on that. Otherwise, what will devotees meditate upon? What would they talk if he does not come? So therefore he says, Anugrahaya Bhaktanam Manusham Deham Ashrita. And then these are not only just for talking, but also studying them, understanding them, and learning from his activities. What is bhakti? So bhajte tadrushi krida ya shrutva tatparo bhavet. So this is a very important statement here by Sukadeva Goswami, that he performs his Leela, his play, in such a way that by hearing it, one becomes devoted to him. Yasutva tatparo. Tatpara means becoming devoted to him. So how does one become devoted to Krishna? By hearing this Rāsa-līlā, where Parikshit was saying this is adharmic. Right? It looks adharmic, but this is the essence of dharma. That is what we have to understand. That's why he performed it, so that one can understand what is really bhakti. Bhakti is not something mechanical. Bhakti is from the heart. And this is the activity which was done by heart, from the heart. So this is being shown here. Because if we are belonging to Krishna, Mamaivanso Jiva Loke Jiva Bhukta Sanatana, we are eternal parts of Krishna. That means we are meant to serve Him only. When we forget that, then we do service to others and ultimately service to our own body. So Krishna has shown that devotion means that we are meant only for His sake. And that is the supreme dharma. Because if you do service here for somebody, then we say, oh, he is a very nice person. And if you do some service to the society, to people, open schools, hospitals, distribute food, medicine, then you are called a dharmic person. Right? According to Smriti Shastra, make roads, gardens, dig wells for water. In the olden days it was important. So Koop, Vapi, Tadag, make ponds. It was necessary when there was no such system of supplying water. People depended. Water is life. So these were considered as activities of dharma. But in the third canto of Bhāgavatam, Kapila Dev does a lengthy analysis that who is actually the ultimate object of our charity. Dharma means doing charity to others. That's why yajna, so much talk of yajna in Shastra. Because yajna is dhan, Dev Puja, dhan, Sangati Karan. The one important aspect of yajna is to do charity. And even this offering oblations is tyag. So Devta Uddeshena Dravya Tyaga Yaga. So it makes you habituated to give. Give to Devta, give to people, give to Brahmanas, Dakshina. But who is the topmost or most qualified recipient? That's what Kapila tells there. And he makes a whole list starting from those who are immovable and then movable, and those who have feet and not feet and eyes and this and that, and then human beings, and among human beings Brahmanas, among Brahmanas those who know the Vedas, and among that those who know the meaning of the Vedas. Right? He goes on, and then Vaishnavas, finally Bhagavan. So Bhagavan is the ultimate object. So others are also considered as important up to in proportion to how much Bhagavan's presence is felt in them. Because Bhagavan likes Brahmanas, Go Brahman Hitayacha. But he likes Vaishnavas more than that. That is the story of King Ambarish and Durvasa. Durvasa is a great sage and Brahmana. He is manifestation of Shiva, but he has to give respect to Ambarish, who is Kshatriya, a king. So Vaishnavas are superior to all other beings. So he says this in that story himself, that Naham Atmanam Ashase, that I don't want even my own self without my devotees. They don't know anything without me and I don't know anything without them. He gives respect to Brahmanas. In the story of Kumaras and the gatekeepers Jaya and Vijay also this was shown. Although it seems that he favored Kumaras, but actually he favored his devotees. Because he said this, that any offense done by them is done by me. That means he is considering his gatekeepers as non-different from himself. And Kumaras, who are Jnanis, great Brahmanas, sons of Brahma, he is considering them as outsiders. That's why he is trying to placate them, pacify them. Because Jaya and Vijay are his own people. Otherwise, why he is saying this? That the offense done by them is as good as done by me. Bhritya aparadhe swamino danda. Servant makes mistake, master has to take care of it. So he comes here for anugrahaya bhaktanam, to give his grace to the devotees. That is important. And in this Rāsa-līlā, he is shown who are the topmost bhaktas, who are great devotees, and what is really bhakti. So that is the meaning, bhajtai tadrishi krida ya srutva tatparo bhavet. That by hearing this, and after hearing, by doing manan, srutva here is not just srutva, but between srutva and tatpara, there is also matva, there is also meditation or deliberation. So, srotavya, mantavya, niridhyasitavya. So, you do Shravan properly, then understand it, ingest it, then that will lead you to bhakti. So that's why it is important. That is the purpose. So jugupsitam kim abhiprayam kritvan iti dvitiya prasnasya uttaramaha. So Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti says that in this verse he is giving reply to the second question of King Parikshit. Apta kamo yadupati kritvan vai jugupsitam. That he is apta kama. Why did he act in this despicable manner? So he says it is not despicable but to teach. So mad bhakta nam vinodartham karomi vividha kriya. In Padma Purana it is said that I do various types of activities for the pleasure of my devotees. So for the sadhas, siddhas, nitya parikaras, he acts to give them pleasure, for others to teach. Because those who are sadhakas, they have to learn. So anuiti, bhaktanam anugrahaya tadrishihi krida bhajate ya shrutva manusam deham ashrito jiva tatparas tadvishakya shraddhavan bhavediti. So this manusam deham he is applying for the jivas, not for him. Anugrahaya bhutanam, and then manusam deham ashrita is for others. So he says he performs his lila, his krida, his play in such a manner that the devotees get blessed. And then by hearing that, so there are two parts to it, that to give His grace to the devotees and the others, those who are normal people, Manusam Dehan, of course they have to have some Shraddha. If they want to find fault, it will not happen. So by hearing this Leela, this play, these pastimes, Manusam Deham Ashrito Jiva. So Manusam Deham Ashrita is not for Krishna here, but for the living being who has human body, human form. So by hearing this, what will happen? Tatparas tadvishake Shraddhavan bhavet. So he will acquire Shraddha for that. And if he already has Shraddha, then he will get Prema. That's what he will say later on, Vikriditam Brajbadubhidam cha Vishnu. So Shraddhavan bhavediti Kridantarato Velakshanyena Madhur Rasmaya Asyaha Kridayas Tadrishi Mani Mantra Mahoshadha Nam Ive Kachid Atarka Shakti Rasti Iti Avagamyate. So he says how this will happen simply by hearing. He says that this Rāsa-līlā, these 5 chapters, they have got some supra-logical power in them, the power which defies logic, Atarka Shakti. Just like the gems, mantras and some medicines have power which cannot be described logically, that how it can work like that. So this play of Krishna is also like that. And this is its speciality. This is why it is different from other pastimes. That by hearing it, one will become Shraddhavan, develop Shraddha in Krishna, become devoted to Him. Tatheva manush dehavata eva tad bhaktav adhikaritvam mukhyamiti abhipretam. So by this, Sri Sukadeva Goswami is also intending to say that although bhakti is available for all, but it is specifically for those who are human beings. So human beings have the prime adhikar or primary eligibility to take to bhakti, because they can hear it. Others, if they hear, they won't understand. They don't have the language. So human beings can speak, they can hear, they can describe, they can talk. And then one becomes tatpara. Nasuyan khalu krishnaya mohitastasya mayaya manyamanam swaparshasthvan swan dharan brajaukashaha. So now he describes, he is concluding his replies over basically in that, because there were 2 questions by Parikshit, he has replied to both. So now he says that what happened to the gopi's husband. You have explained that okay, this is not a dharmic, and gopis are also not immoral in their behavior. What about the husbands? They are going to be upset if they find out. And the other relatives of the gopis, their parents, or if they are married, their father-in-law, mother-in-law, neighbors, they will all talk. So what about that part? So he says, Na suyan khalu krishnaya mohita tasya mayaya manyamanam swaparshasthan swan dharan brajaukasha. So the residents of Braja, they did not become angry at Krishna. Why? Says that because they were under the influence of Krishna's Maya, and they considered that their wives were right next to them. So they did not think that their wives were not with them. Swaparshasthan Swan Swandaran. So as far as they were concerned, their wives did not go because they stopped them. And those who left, for them also it appeared as if they have not left. There also it was described. So therefore there was no incongruity and there was no cause of concern for them. That's why they didn't go searching for them. Although Krishna was saying that they must be searching for you, why have you come here, you go. But the fact is that no one came searching for them. Although they stayed out whole night. So nanu evam sarvasu eva nishasu gopastribhi saha viharti bhagavati tasam patischa swashradaya swasva grihesu tasva vadhura drishtva bhagavate tasmai katham na kupyam tatrahaneti. So this question is raised that all these gopis, they stayed with Krishna for all these nights and they played with Bhagavan. So when the husbands of these gopis or their mother-in-laws, etc., did not see their wives in the house, then why they did not become upset with Krishna? Why they did not get angry at him? Because who will like that? Even if they like Krishna, they would not like that their wives go to him. So he says that because of Maya, so Maya here is not Maya of this world, but Yoga Maya. So he says Yoga Maya eva natu bahiranga Maya. That it was because of the influence of Yoga Maya, the spiritual Maya, not the material one. Why is that? Bhagavat parivareshu tasya adhikara bhavat. Because this Maya, which influences the living beings here in this material world, does not have influence over the parikaras of Bhagavan. These devotees of Vraja cannot be influenced by Bhagavan's Maya. So therefore there is no possibility that they can become envious of Krishna and then fall down. Right? He is saying it here very clearly. Srimad Chakravarti Thakur is very clearly writing this. And there is no possibility. Sukadeva Goswami himself says that they did not become upset with him. So tanmohitanam cha bhagavad vaimukhyasya avashyam bhavat. He says those who are bewildered by the Bahiranga Maya, they become Bhagavad Vaimukhya. Those who are under the influence of the Maya here, they are not devotees. They become absorbed in their own body. Tesham gopanam tu Bhagavad Vaimukhya matra darshanat. But it is never seen that these cowherd men were ever averse to Krishna. They are completely devoted to him. So that shows that there is no influence of Maya over them. And if they are ever under the influence of Maya, that is Yoga Maya. Taya mohanam cha gopishu krishnam abhisrita-vatishu tadrishi tavati reva gopi srishtva tam darshatyeva. So then why is it said that mohita tasya maya, that they were bewildered by his Maya? So he says this bewilderment is not in the sense as we think, that they forget Krishna and they become absorbed in material activities. This bewilderment is in the sense that they thought their wives are next to them. That's all is their bewilderment. They did not know that their wives have gone to meet Krishna. That is the meaning of bewilderment here. Atah swan swan daran swaparshasthvan eva manyamana. So therefore they considered that their wives are right next to them. Yaduktam ujjwal nilmano, as it is said in Ujjwal Nilmani, Maya kalpita tadrik stri silnena nu shuyubhihi na jatu vraj devinam patibhi sah sangama. That Yogamaya has created similar women like the wives, and therefore they did not become angry at Krishna. And the Vraj Devis, they never have any physical association with their husbands. Najatu, never. Tatascha yoga maya chit shakti vrittitvat tat karyanam api nitya satya auchityat sarva mayik prapancha nashe api tesham parshvasth dharanam तेषु स्वस्व भार्याभिमानस्य नित्यं सत्यत्वम् एव मन्यमाना इति अभिमान मात्रं न तु योग माया कल्पितानाम् अपि तासां पतिभिः संभोगयति तासां तदाकार तुल्यकाराणाम् अन्य संभुक्तत्वस्य अनौचित्यात्. So this is a very interesting statement he makes here, because he is completely against this idea of swakiya bhav, whether here or there. So he gives an argument here. He says tatascha yogamaya chit shakti vrittiva. He says yogamaya is the chit shakti of Bhagavan, and therefore whatever it does, it is real. Whatever it creates, it is real, it is true, it is eternal. So if Yogamaya created another set of gopis, then those gopis are also eternal and they are real. Sarva mayik prapancha nashepi. So when this whole universe is destroyed, then these gopis are also in the spiritual world. Tesham parshvastha dharanam tesu swasva bharyabhimanasya nitya sattvatvam eva manyamana. So therefore they considered these wives which were next to them, which were created by Yogamaya, as nitya and satya, as real and eternal. So iti abhimana, and what is the meaning of manyamana? That they only have this abhiman. So he is also having a little play on this word manyamana. That they only consider them means they don't have any physical relationship even with these gopis. There is no question of having physical relationship with the gopis who went and met Krishna. But even those who were created, there is no physical relationship. So they just have the bhav that I am husband, she is my wife, that's all. Because it is the bhav jagat. It is the world of bhav only. So natu yoga maya kalpitanam api tasam patibhi sambhoga. So even these gopis which were made by yoga maya, they do not have any physical association with their husbands. Why? He says tasam tadakar tulya karanam anya sambhuktattvasya anochityat. He says not only that the gopis who met Krishna, it will be highly improper for anyone else to have physical association with them, but even those gopis who are look alike, it will be improper. So therefore, both the ones which are beloved of Krishna and those who are created on their looks, both of them do not have any physical relations. Ateva swa parshasthan iti tu swatalpasthan iti uktam. So therefore it is said that they saw them next to them, but I think one na is missing here. So either it means that not on their bed, natu swatalpasthan iti uktam, but I don't see any na. Otherwise tu does not make any sense. अतएव स्वपार्श्वस्थान इति तु स्वतल्पस्थान इति उक्तम्. Or it means that they were just situated with them. Tacha samadhanam yoga maya eva. It says all this arrangement is done by yoga maya. Tatpatinam tasu kam bhavan utpadanat kritam iti gayam. Because the husbands also do not have any kam bhav towards them, means any material desire or desire to have physical association. Because here it is described that by hearing this pastime, one's karma becomes sublimated or disappears. Then what to speak of these people themselves? How is that they will have karma? श्री भागवत पार्श्वात् स्वस्व गृहं प्रति गोपानाम आगमन समय माइक गोपीनाम मायैव अंतर्धापनम अपि गेयम. So what happened when the real gopis come back? He says then this one are sent to another place where this pastime is going eternally. So they are rotated. Because earlier he said they are also eternal. So they have to also move to the second play, then next play, then next play, then next play. They keep on moving, right? So it's explained in Krishna Sandarbha. So this is the end of the commentary. I will stop. Any question?
I have a question.
Yes.
So, regarding the part of the shloka 36, where it says Manushya Mash,
what it says?
The body.
Your voice is breaking.
I should not explain it's referred to.
Your voice is breaking. I cannot hear you clearly.
Understand properly.
I cannot hear you.
I think this time it was our connection.
I also lost.
Yeah, it's restored now.
Okay, can you repeat your question again, because there was a problem with internet. Haribol, can you repeat your question? Because we lost internet and I did not hear the question.
Maybe we have a problem.
I don't hear him. He is muted.
Let him write the question.
Okay, if you can hear Kulshekhar, can you repeat his question? Because we don't hear him. Okay, no one is replying.
I think it's a problem with Windows. I just
Well, we don't hear. You may hear, but we don't hear. So what is the problem?
so now we can hear others.
So tell him to repeat the
Can you hear
question.
now, Babaji? Can you hear us?
Yeah, now we can hear.
Because before you could not hear. Okay.
Now I can hear, but so he has to repeat the question if he is still there.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So the part of shloka, it says Manusham Deham Asrita or Astita, is translated in Mula shloka as Krishna who accepts the body, human-like body. But in Śrīmad-Bhāgavata, it explains he attributes this to human beings, those who have human bodies.
Yes.
So I'd like to understand how this is a little bit confusing to me to understand. I mean, it's
What?
totally different meanings actually.
No, there are two different ways to look at this sloka. One way is that you can apply the part Manusham Deham Ashrita to Krishna, that accepting a human body, he gives his grace, Anugraha Bhutanam. Other ways that you can apply this to the Jivas, that he gives his grace to devotees, Anugraha Bhutanam, and somewhere it is Bhaktanam, and also to the living beings who have material body. Just
Okay,
two ways
if
to
this is the
interpret.
case, if this is the case, then I have another question. When it says that Krishna accepts the human-like body, I mean, it's kind of impersonal thinking, but my question is, a base question would be, who is accepting that human-like body of Krishna? Who is Krishna if he has to accept the body?
So therefore accepting
to
here
benefit
means,
others? What is
yes, so here accepting would mean manifesting. That he manifests, means he makes it visible to us. That's
But
what.
in some translations it says Ashrita.
Yeah,
I see. Is that true that some translations say that instead of Ashrita is Ashrita, word Ashrita means taking shelter of?
That's why I'm saying
Would it be
that
correct to say?
when you have a sentence which does not make sense in its primary sense, then you have to give that up and give secondary sense. Otherwise, what, as you yourself are saying, what does it mean he accepts the body? So who is accepting a body? It doesn't make any sense. So when it is not making any sense, that means that's not its sense. Because obviously the person who is speaking is not some ordinary person. He is an Apta Purusha, he is a learned person. So this is a usage of language. All the time words don't have just one meaning, or they are not always in their primary sense. They have to be understood. So that's why it has to be taken like that. Just like in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Aham Vaisvanaro Bhutva Praninam Deham Ashrita Pranapan Samayukta Pachami Annam Chaturvidham. That I, becoming Vaisvanava and taking the shelter of human body, I digest the food. So what does it mean he takes shelter of the human body?
No, he empowers the human body with his Shaktis, whatever he has.
So therefore now you are changing the meaning, right? So like that you have to do.
Okay. And can I have another question, Ajay?
Yes.
Okay, so it says, we just read that gopis have the duplicate bodies. And in earlier chapters, when they were called by Krishna to come, they left. Some of them were leaving children behind, or some of them just running away, being stopped by husbands.
Yes.
And so it seems like two different ideas. One has duplicate body, nothing happened, they didn't notice anything. And previously it stated that they were actually prevented from husbands to leave, as if there were no second copies of the gopis.
Yeah, so therefore you did not listen there, the explanation. You only talking about the sloka, but the explanation was already given there. That they were Nitya Gopis and they were Sadhana Siddha Gopis. And among Sadhana Siddhas also there were two types. Those who have attained complete prema, they are absolutely pure, and there were some which were not. And those which were not, they were the one which were stopped. And they are the one who gave up the body. All this was described there. Maybe you should listen to those lectures again.
Okay, I will.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.